This video depicts real war violence, loss, and trauma and may disturb viewers. Not suitable for children. Parental guidance advised. Personal details have been altered to protect privacy. These are personal recollections, not academic history. Our aim is to honor, not glorify, their sacrifices. Watching this video indicates your acceptance of these terms.
World War II was the largest and bloodiest conflict in history. Millions of young men left their homes, their loved ones, and their dreams behind, setting out into the unknown in the name of freedom. They laced up their boots, strapped on their weapons, and stood against tyranny. We stand on the shoulders of that generation. Today, we will listen to the voice of one of those giants, a 99-year-old veteran. Out of respect for his privacy, we will keep his identity hidden, and through him, honor the memory of all heroes. It all began on that fateful Sunday, December 7, 1941. An 18-year-old student at an East Coast university learned of the attack on Pearl Harbor through radio waves that morning. His fraternity house phone never stopped ringing. Fathers were begging their sons not to rush their decision, but a fire of duty burned in the hearts of those young men. We still get chills hearing his words in the archives. "My conscience commands me. I must go." One of his college friends joined the paratroopers with only one semester left to earn his engineering degree. Our veteran could no longer suppress his own sense of duty. In 1942, he enlisted in the reserve forces, left school behind, endured brutal basic training in Texas, and was then selected for a program that would have sent him back to university under Army sponsorship. But as D-Day approached, the Army needed fighters, not desk clerks. The program was canceled, and he found himself in a training camp in Louisiana, bound for frontline infantry service. Before departing for Europe in the autumn of 1944, he made the most important decision of his life. He married his beloved, despite all his family's objections. We will never forget his words from the archives. "I could have come back blind or maimed. Our families wanted us to wait, but we were in love, and we didn't want to be together unwed. It was that simple for us." When he stepped onto Omaha Beach in November 1944, months after D-Day, the only thought in his mind was, "My God, how did they pull that off? Thank goodness I wasn't here that day." Soon he found himself on a front that stretched from the Dutch border into Germany. Their first objective was the town of Geilenkirchen. They captured it quickly, but just beyond the sugar beet fields lay a concrete fortress, part of the Siegfried Line, known as a pillbox. Even when an American dive bomber dropped its entire payload on top of it, the position barely budged and continued firing. For 5 days and 5 nights, they pressed through hell, from the courtyard of a burning chateau used as battalion headquarters, across icy streams and fields toward the enemy trenches. When the order to withdraw finally came, only 44 soldiers remained from the original 200-man company. They had failed to take that concrete mass. It was a German victory. The darkest hours of war often give rise to the most unexpected stories of humanity. During that 5-day siege, 6 soldiers took refuge in a nearby German farmhouse under heavy fire. A German 88mm shell ripped their comrades apart. The survivors squeezed into a narrow cellar like a pantry and stayed there for 24 hours until the shelling stopped. Again, his voice from the archives chills us. "I wanted to run, but my cooler-headed friends decided we had to wait until the bombardment ceased." Just before they ducked into that house, he witnessed a moment that changed his life. They were attached to a British unit, and a Sherman tank advanced to support them. The tank commander stood exposed in the turret, directing fire at German positions. The tracer rounds lit up the night. Our veteran recalls, "I realized the tank commander was trying to save us. He saw us trapped in that house and risked everything to help. I watched him get hit and slump inside the turret. I will never forget that moment." Decades passed, but he never forgot that British commander's face. Then, some 75 years later, a miracle occurred. Through the internet, he found the commander's son. In a moving moment, he shares, "His son was only 5 when his father died. Now he's in his 80s. I told him how his father gave his life to save 6 American soldiers, and we cried together on the phone. It still moves me." Shortly after surviving that ordeal, he was wounded in the Battle of the Bulge in December 1944, near a small Belgian village. In one of war's cruel ironies, the shrapnel that struck him wasn't German. It came from an American mortar round. Medics ran to his side, and just as they reached him, another shell landed. The 2 young men who rushed to help him died before his eyes. He describes it. "I hit the ground. The medics were almost on top of me when another shell struck that exact spot. I watched those 2 young men die right in front of me." This moment epitomizes how senseless, random, and tragic war can be. He faced death repeatedly and witnessed the loss of friends, yet he survived. When the war ended, he returned home to his waiting wife. That marriage, one everyone said to postpone, gave them a long, loving life. It became a symbol of holding on to hope amid the horrors of war. Today, at 99, he is one of the last living witnesses. His story is not just one soldier's tale, but the universal saga of shared rations, shared water, brotherhood, and sacrifice. It is also the story of the British tank commander who charged forward under fire, and of the medics who gave their lives trying to save others. We may never know their names or hometowns, but we will never forget what they did. Remembering and ensuring others remember that we live in a world made possible by their sacrifices is our debt to them.